everybody. How are y'all doing? I'm waiting for the audio to catch up. You know, I was too busy bumping to the music. All right, I'm sounding good. I hope y'all are doing well. Hello, hello, and hello. How are y'all doing today? We switching it up. You know, we maxing out our inputs on the ATEM Mini Extreme. I hope y'all are doing well. AJay the CEO, thank you so much for joining. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm sure you already have. But before we get started, man, do me a big favor. Go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't, and turn on notifications. That way you don't miss any new hotness that we drop here, folks. Thank y'all so much for joining me. And I think I was too busy rushing that I did not even have my screen set up properly to see the chat. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Let's see. I'm Transforming World Church. Hello. Mike, what's up? Josh, what's up? T-Pocket, hello. Anthony, hello. Lanny, hello. John Cook, thank you so much. I know you said you've been busy the last couple of weeks, but welcome back. Thank you so much for joining. Sean, what is going on? Who else we got here? Live stream guys, hello. Advent Flame, hello. Jay Santiago, hello. Civil Days Music, hello. Jolie, hello. Streets of Destiny, hello from Phoenix. Monty, what is going on? Parker Jennings, hello, hello. Hello, and thank y'all so much for joining. It's been interesting this whole last couple of days. I hope y'all, things have been going great for y'all as well. If you haven't, make sure you go ahead and hit us up and join us on our Facebook group. And I'm so not used to looking in this direction. Let's go back to my regular. Yeah, I like this because I have everything set up always this way. But and I think I missed it when I do my stuff here. Where is it at? Yeah, Facebook. If you haven't joined our Facebook, really? Oh, there it goes. Oh, my screen is not showing it. Hold on. I think I'm only outputting that camera. Yeah. See, I was rushing. I didn't have my NDI monitor up, so I can't see what y'all are seeing. And I'm hitting the button multiple times here. Give me a second. Get all prepped up over here. And, yep, there we go. Now we can get rid of the Facebook group stuff. Yay. So anyway, thank you so much, folks. So we got a lot of stuff going on. So let's go ahead and just jump over to our first question. And this is from Transforming World Church. Y'all see my multi view that I'm running to the back TV back here. Have a question. This past week, we tried to stream on multiple platforms using OBS/Caster, set up half an hour prior to service. However, when we went live, epic fail. OBS message could not recognize host name. Now, that could be a bunch of things. That could be your local network that's doing that, or it could be your DNS server that you're going to. It could be your IP address, or it could be the host, the actual caster, or wherever it's going to. See, that's what the good thing I can say about this. What you experience is not new to anybody else. This is just showing other people who are not media ministry that there are so many things that could happen that are completely out of our control. So I really don't know to isolate it like that. I would probably say try again on an off time when it's not Sunday, like try it this afternoon, see if you get the same thing. If you have an issue with Caster, see if you can just sign up for a free one with Restream. Don't point it to any places that cost you to pay, and just see if you get the same thing there. And then also try one individual connection to each one and see if you get the same thing too. Sorry about that, but yeah. Yeah, and I think Mike was answering some questions as well too. So that's the power of this group, folks. If you are not a part of the Facebook media group, you might have missed some new exciting stuff that we're working on. And why did I put it on that button? Put it on this one. You know, we did our new logo here for me. Hope y'all like it. We got some other exciting stuff that is coming down the pipe. Make sure you are a part of the Facebook group, because we're not releasing all the information yet, but we got something really, really, really exciting for the body, for everyone. So really looking forward to that. And the people I've shared that with, they are really excited about that. Let's go here to make sure I didn't miss a question. All right, let's go here to John. Would you be able to maybe do a bit of a discussion of all the different types of licensing for playing different types of music and what you can and cannot play in live church settings versus live streams? All right. Now, let me start this with this. I am not a legal advisor. I do not have a law degree. This is just me giving you my opinion. Please consult professional counsel for anything further than that. That just covers me with this. I'm just giving you my opinion. Actually, let me save my real opinion for the end. Technically, as a musician, you can play anything if you are doing it live and you have people singing it. For the most part, you can do it live. Copyright law is crazy. But for the most part, it's considered creative license, because when I play the piano, if I play a William Murphy song or I play something else, I am not playing verbatim like them. I have my own interpretation. I might put a sustenata here. I might do a decrescendo in this. I might change the chord structure here, progressions. That's my creative license. You can't copyright that. You can, however, copyright playing a song that you did not make yourself. So if you buy an MP3 and play it, or you have a streaming service and you play it, that does not give you permission to play it. Like all the music that you're hearing before, I use Epidemic Sound. Link is in the description if you're interested in it. It has tons of music, but it comes with a license with them that I am covered to use that on any channel that I have linked in my profile with Epidemic Sound. So that's a license like that. CCLI, there are other licenses that you can use that supposedly cover you, but in all honesty, none of these licenses cover everything. Just be honest with that. We have a license that allows us to display words and lyrics, because that's another one that you can not have a license for, which I think is crazy. I've been in church my whole life. I've never had the copyright police kick in the door to say, because really, technically, you need a license to photocopy the song out of a hymnal. But again, I've never heard of anybody kicking in the door saying, y'all are under arrest for printing out that hymnal. Technically, back in the day, if y'all are old enough, it was actually technically illegal for you to record the radio over your tape deck. But how many people were getting kicked in the door doing that? Again, I'm not promoting that you do that. It's like some of the copyright stuff is just outdated, in my personal opinion. But for me, all of our music at my church is done live. When we had our praise dancers there, unless we played the song, they played an actual CD MP3 of the song. We do not have rights to do that. Putting at the bottom of your video description saying that we do not own the right, that means nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't protect you from anything. All right. You need permission from the person who wrote the song, who owns the song, or the publishing author or whatever the song. You need their permission to use the song. If you do not have that, and whoever you buy a license through doesn't have agreement with the music production company that owns the rights to that song, you are not covered. Honestly, we just play everything. I've had a couple of people, some con artists on here trying to say, oh, y'all sang Amazing Grace. That's in the public domain. You cannot copyright that. But then they claim, oh, that was Merv Griffin's version of it. Something stupid like that. Public domain stuff, you can't have a copyright on that. So anything, most of the hymnals, songs, you can do that. I think copyright law for music, because I have some songs that are copyrighted, they exist 150 years after the death of the author, something like that. Easy thing to do is do all your music live or buy music from places that give you a license. Audio Jungle, Invatu Elements, Epidemic Sound, they give me a license to cover all of the music if I purchase it. Just like the intro that I have a license for that. And I've actually got hit. But I had to send them a license saying, hey, y'all who are hitting me, I bought it from you. You gave me a license. And then they dropped the claim. That's the long and short of it. You really need to have a license, but unfortunately, there is no unified thing that will cover everybody. Because in all honesty, the people that do the music, these production companies, they trump everybody. You can have a license all day long. Like there's Darwin Hobbs. For whatever reason, anytime I do his music, we get copyrighted because it says you don't even have permission to do their song. So as much as I like his music, I just don't do it anymore. Another thing I'm seeing real quick, Advent Flame is talking about well, no, this might not be in reference to what I was talking about, but royalty-free music. I use Scott Holmes a lot. No relation. He offers his music for free as long as you don't charge for it. Like you don't put ads or something like that, monetization on your videos. Be careful with that because him and a bunch of other artists that give their music out, there's a bunch of idiots out there that will take music that's free and then register it as if it's theirs, as if they're going to make millions off of that. Idiots. The nicest way I can say it. So just be careful with that. There are plenty of places that offer royalty-free music as long as you reference them, but be mindful. There are con artists that do a whole bunch of silly stuff. So very good question. Very long answer. Let's see what else we got here. Now it's in reference to what I'm talking about. Evan Flame, yes, all of the music that I have is through Epidemic Sound, and no, it's not royalty. It's royalty free. Only it's not royalty free. Let me take it back. I have a license to use it. Civil Days Music. Hi, new to this, and I really want to sell beats and license music. Honestly, the best thing I would say for that, if you want to do that, and I've wanted to do it, and I just haven't had a chance to get into it, you can register on Epidemic Sound, Audio Jungle, all these places, and you can list your music there, and they'll create a license, and you can sell it that way. Selling digital stuff is a very, very profitable thing, coming from experience with that. Let's see what else we got here. Lanny, I've responded already, but I'll say it here. Curious, may I have missed it, but where are you based out of? I am based out of Richmond, Virginia. Francisco, good morning. Monty, Monty is in, does similar stuff that I do. Great guy out of Fredericksburg, and yes, we do need to catch up. He says, now I have a dark background. No, I just don't have all the lights on. Josh, let's see. Darius, if I was going to have a son, I always wanted to name him Darius, just to let you know. Good morning from Mobile, Alabama. I have been getting involved with installing streaming systems and ministries in my area. Thanks for the inspiration. Hey, glad to help. Hello, Sandra. How are you? Josh. Yes, I do. What I'll do is I'll post it on the Facebook group there. Live stream guide. I was thinking of getting the $60 vMix Basic HD. Should I get it or should I stay with OBS Studio? Honestly, that's the one that I started with. It works well, but you only have 4 inputs. So, like, I don't want to do this because it's going to mess up my stuff here. Hold on, let me hook up another camera real quick. cable? Where's my cable? There we go. All right, so this isn't really mobile, but this is a way I can show you. I have my streaming system plugged into my ATEM, but it's showing as a second screen. And last time when I tried to readjust it, vMix choked on me in the middle of doing this. So I just want to have another camera pointed at this to do this. This is the other Canon G20 that I took down from church yesterday. Can we get it on? There we go. And there's my shot. So if I can zoom in, here is my vMix running right now. And if you get the basic, you literally can only have 4 inputs. As right now, I have 15. It's doable, but you have a lot of stuff that you have to jump through with that 4. It is workable, but ultimately, when I really went into using vMix, I had to upgrade it, because when I was trying to run play music in the background, that was considered an input. A camera was an input. My intro was an input. My outro was an input, and I was stuck. I couldn't do anything else. So I think it's good if you want to test with it. Now, the one thing I do like about vMix, if you buy that $60 one and decide to upgrade, you have to just pay the difference. So I think that is cool. But again, that's what I think. I mean, it's a good product. It really is. It's not for everyone. Just like OBS is not for everyone. That's why I'm glad we have multiple options. I know people who are on the Mac love Ecamm Live. If I decide to resurrect my Hackintosh, I would probably put it on there. And for anybody who's wondering what's happened with my Hackintosh, it's actually here on the floor. And I ended up taking the memory out, putting that in a computer at church. And then since it's so hard to get graphics cards, I had a GTX 1650 in my live streaming system. I gave that to a church. And then I put the Radeon 7 that I wasn't that big of a fan of. I put that back in my streaming system, which was the graphics card in my Hackintosh. The Hackintosh needs a specific AMD graphics card to work, and they are a pain to try and get in price. I refuse to pay for a $75 graphics card at $200. I refuse to do that. So that's why it stays down right now. Josh, jumping back on, I think, our copyright stuff we were talking about, is having a person play piano somewhere in the media booth to the same tune, but different of the copyright song the praise dancers use with the house muted possible? I mean, yeah, it is. That is possible. Back to John. Thanks, AJ, for the copyright. I was mainly concerned how live stream on YouTube and Facebook would have been affected. They would affect the exact same way. They are the conduit that these production companies use. So if you get hit, it's not YouTube and Facebook hitting you. It's the content ID that they have registered for their songs that their system is picking up. So they're saying, oh, AJ wrote, like, for example, let me show y'all this. I'm going to give somebody maybe 5 seconds of fame that they probably shouldn't get, but this is important. All right, so if I cut over to, actually, let's use the super source here. Use the super source, Luke. All right, so in here, this is the copyright module that opens up in YouTube once you get to a certain level. I have a removal here that this person got a copyright strike because this person used a video that I did, and it's 100% mine. They downloaded it and just uploaded it to their channel. So if I go to their channel right now, this video, let me mute it. See, it's me, but it's on their channel, and they didn't ask for my permission to use it. So for me, like for example, let me do this description. See, they got hit because this is the song that I have a license to use. They didn't. That's why they got hit. So they're using music they don't own. They got hit for that. They also got hit again because they're using my video that I didn't give them permission. So I have a removal request that will go into effect on the 20th if they don't do it themselves. It's going to be removed because I could prosecute them because they're infringing on my content without my permission. I'm not just going to do that. I'm just going to say, take it down. I've had other people who I've made stuff for and it was registered to me and it came up the same way. But when it comes to me, I say, dismiss them. So like here are a bunch of videos that, like I did some videos for Field World. I did a video under my Sir Triggerlot channel that shows it's a match. And of course I say, nah, we can pass. I did this video for another ministry and they used it 100%. Of course they can use it because it was theirs. I made it for them. So when it comes to stuff like this, I'll let it pass because it's not trying to infringe. It just matched something that I did. Now, again, this person literally verbatim took the entire video. Didn't reference it was me, nothing. That's kind of how the copyright stuff works. And that's the dark side of where you gotta, put your foot down and be like, nah, bruh, that ain't cool. All right, let's go. Mike, how does licensing work with Envato Elements? If I subscribed and downloaded music, but now I don't have a subscription anymore. The way it works, the license is still covers every work that you've previously made. If you stop your license, you can't use that music again because you don't have an active license. It only covers up to when your license is over. So if you had all these other songs before, videos, they cannot hit you for that because you used it while your license was active. Dylan, what is going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us. And another question from you. I know we asked on the Facebook group, but can you do a video showing how to connect multiple PTZs to a controller? Yes, when I got another PTZ coming in, and we're going to be installing that at my church, I will walk through that then. Lanny wants to know, will the CX220 work with the A10 Mini? Let's see. This is a CX330. We started with a CX230. So yes, it will. As long as you have an HDMI out, or it will work. So where's my other input? Now, the reason I don't use this one is because the battery does not charge. The whole mechanism doesn't charge the battery at all, so this has to be plugged in. Let's see. Thought I had a cable nearby. I don't have another cable nearby, and nor do I have the power supply nearby, so I can't plug it in. But yes, it will work. Excuse me. Kane and Judah, hey, you're never late. We're still here. Back to Josh. While the praise dancers perform, is it possible? I thought we already answered this. I thought we did. Or did I miss it? Oh, no, I came through twice. No, let me just answer again. While the praise dancers perform, is it possible to have someone in the media booth playing piano with the variation of the song to avoid a copyright? Yes. What we normally do when we had our praise dancers, if they started dancing to the track, when the track was over, our band we would start playing, and then at that point we can turn everything on and everybody can see because it's our interpretation of it. So if you did something like that and you completely muted the song that you do not own and you had a band or somebody playing it, then yes, you're fine. But again, I am not a lawyer. Please consult professionals if you want more detailed information. I am not responsible if you get in trouble for something like that. Dennis, I use the AJay Mini Pro as a USB webcam which feeds into OBS. Have you ever compared the audio tools in OBS versus the AJay? No, I have not. Honestly, I just use it as a proxy, and I just try to adjust everything from the mixer. I don't really, the only time I use this stuff in the software is if something's really crazy. Like even now, I do everything through the Rodecaster, and it's like right now, what y'all are hearing is not sound coming from the AJay, even though I routed it through. I don't think I can change it right now because the Rodecaster just gives better sound directly from it. So in vMix or in OBS, I always say ignore the sound coming from the Blackmagic, even though the Rodecaster is going into it for whatever reason. Coming out USB out of the Rode gives a much cleaner, better sound than it does going into the AJay. So that's what you're hearing right now. And I do that with OBS. I just say use custom audio. Instead of pointing to the AJay, I point to my mixer. But no, I have not personally compared it. I am using vMix right now. Mr. Clarence, good morning. Darren here. Yeah, I was actually was going to start, but then when I saw everybody, I said I was going to start early, so my bad. And actually, I never went out and shared this. I normally do use Buffer to post this out. And hold on, I need to mute this real quick so I can do my Buffer and send it out to everybody. Well, I'll just show y'all if y'all ever wondered about that. I have my link. We're going to send this out to, I have the free Buffer where I can go to 3 platforms. So it just happens to be Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then, boom, we just share that out. Everybody knows what's going on. And that's it. And I do that on my church videos as well as all my other videos. Just a way to get out there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Honestly, the nicest way I can say it, because some people are just trifling. That's why. The nicest way I can say it. Chris, so people put your video into their channel without even getting in touch with you. Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that, unfortunately. But it's a mess. Josh, is that copyright page available for everyone on YouTube or those with monetization? It opens up, I think, at 10,000. I think it opens up there. I could be wrong, but I didn't see it for. Well, actually, let's actually do this. Let's go over to my other channel, Formation Sports, and let's see, because I only have 620. Only have 620 subscribers on there, so I'm not even 1,000. So there is no monetization. Okay, so like right here, we received a copyright claim because I think that was because it picked up some type of, it was audio being played that we couldn't do. All right, so if I go here to, it's not under content, it was under, oh, I guess you actually can do it. Yeah, so I guess it is. It's under copyright. Check if you see that one, because that's where this is. So that's new to me. I didn't even realize it. Change that back so y'all seeing all my other channels that I haven't really done anything on. So yeah, that was interesting. Hey Patrick, good to see you too. Thanks for joining. And your question is, have you tried the SMT AV PTZ? Well, Patrick, let me show you something here. Hopefully I don't show too much information. So if I go here, let's check the top of this. Last purchase on the 15th. So we will know about this. It's actually going to be delivered tomorrow. So this one actually was knocked down in price, and I was like, oh, I got to go ahead and scoop that up just to see, because I've had so many people ask about it. So we will know pretty soon, and I will do, some people wanted to know about a guide on installing it, running cables, also connecting it to our serial joystick, and we'll do a review as well too. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe next week. I got a lot of stuff I'm running around doing next week, so hopefully we can get it done then. Lenny, it is stationary, and I have it going to a monitor in a nursery via HDMI over Cat 6. I have lost battery, so it stay plugged in. Okay. Yeah, that's how mine is. I was using this originally as a stationary camera, and I would kill power to it. And that's when I learned it didn't work, because we killed power so it didn't stay on the whole time. And then when we powered it back on through a switch, it went into demo mode. So that's why we ultimately moved it. And I've really just, the AJayTheCEO HD 100A that I used to have here as my overhead camera, I literally just left from installing that at my church. I took down the Marshall CV1. So I took this one down. This has been our static shot for about 4 years. The reason I took it down, supposedly it says it's by me having the PTZ cameras in there now, the max I was able to do because of the Canon G20s was 1080i 60, and I wanted to go to 1080p 60. That camera didn't support it. Everything worked. This camera says, which is not supported anymore, says it could go to it, but I could never switch to it. The AJayTheCEO did, so even though this had SDI out, I ended up taking one of the converters I had, HDMI to SDI, put that in the ceiling, mounted, same thing, exact same quarter thread, put the AJayTheCEO on there, and everything worked. So now we're at 1080p 60 at, 1080p 5994 on our ATEM Television Studio HD. And the new PTZ camera that we're going to be putting in the front supports the same thing. So the only thing that I had to do, I still had to use my up-down cross converter, because the mini monitor, Decklink mini monitor that's inside our Pro Presenter system can only support that same resolution. So I needed to upscale that to 1080p 5994 just for our stage display. If I got a Decklink mini monitor 4K, which me and Anthony have ordered multiple times, the wrong thing when we really meant a recorder. But if I had one of those, I wouldn't even need the converter anymore. But we will go through all of that when we have everything going on. Jack Wolf, hello, sir. Thank you for joining. I forgot your dad's ministry. Well, actually, no. My father passed in 2003. That was at A Street Baptist Church in Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm at Antioch Baptist now. That's my home church right now in Richmond, Virginia. And if you just look up Antioch Varina on YouTube, that's where we at. But in all honesty, there's so much other stuff we got to work on. So don't expect some TD Jakes types levels of stuff. We're always working on some stuff. And I'm looking at some comments, because comments that are blocked or restricted and whatever on YouTube don't show up on vMix. So let me jump over to something real quick. Let me see. One of Dylan's questions, I'm just going to read it because it hasn't showed up on vMix yet. Dylan wants to know, any idea why they limit features until you reach a subscriber count? So annoying, because I'm trying to grow my church YouTube page, but I cannot use the stories or post features until I hit 1,000 subs. Totally understand the frustration, but just to be a little dark, For a while, everybody used to actually do this. I don't know if you remember this a while ago. It was a couple of years ago. It was a guy, a disgruntled employee, went and live streamed him going to the, he was working at a news station, and he went to some broadcasters live streaming himself and shot them on live TV as well as while he was live streaming. That's why they restricted it. I don't know why they restrict everything else, but that's the reason why they restricted live streaming from your phone until you had 1,000. That's when that was implemented. Yeah, it's messed up, but at the same time, it's understandable because it's like, okay, if we open it up, unfortunately, we have sometimes people that just take stuff a little bit too far, and yeah, but hey. Let's see what else we got. Josh wants to know, what are my thoughts on the Shure SM7B podcast mic? I was honestly debating about getting one of those when I was looking at getting the Rodecaster. I really wanted to get one of these because, you know, you literally see everyone on YouTube with one of these mics. And I mean, I've seen professionals use it. I've seen Israel Houghton use it in some of his recordings. Great mic. I'm not a penny pincher, but just 400 for a mic was kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. That's just me. But I was looking at investing, and then, okay, this is my thought was, let me get this pod mic. If it doesn't perform the way I want to, I'll invest in getting one of those because I see everybody's using them. But the one thing that you don't see, people use this and then they have a cloud lifter behind it to boost up the volume. I've seen people use a cloud lifter on this as well too. I heard it's a great mic. But like I said, I've always meant to say this, and I think I've said this on other videos. I like on my channel, this channel is meant to show how you can get a high quality production without high quality pricing on everything. But there are times that you being cheap can be a detriment. So sometimes when you have it, don't just splurge just because. Like I've seen other people that go out and, oh, I'm going to buy this 8K PTZ camera and it's the top of the line and it's $20,000 each. I'm like, that's great, but why did you get it? Because honestly, like I tell people right now, it's no point in getting, for me, I don't think it's a point in getting a 4K PTZ because you need a 4K PTZ, you need a 4K receiver, you need a 4K display, you need to up your upload speed if you're trying to live stream in 4K, and then in all honesty, unless everybody on the other end has the same type of download and a 4K TV or 4K computer monitor or 4K resolution phone or tablet, they're not going to see all of what you just did. So for me, if I had it to do, yeah, I would get it. But it's not really essential. At least right now it's not. That's just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong. That's just me. Back to Dylan. Let's see. Any idea? That's what I just answered. It just finally unlocked. So sorry, we already answered that. Hopeton Flemings here. Good day. I'm thinking of using the HDMI over Ethernet for video distribution at church. Are there any caveats I should bear in mind? What about latency, etc.? Depending on which one you're using, I did not notice any latency. Every time you add a device inside of your stream, you're going to add some latency inherently because it takes time for it to process. The more devices you add, the more latency is going to happen. So you want to have as little as possible. So if you're going from the source to like HDMI to Ethernet, like I've used a 1x2 up to a 1x8, and they work great. Converting it over, I mean, you said Ethernet, so I'm not going to mention SDI, but yeah, you shouldn't. As long as you don't have a whole bunch of items in between it, you should be fine. You'll know when it's a problem when I made an adjustment to ours, like when I was using the Thor HDMI to coax, and I had that routed to our projectors in the sanctuary, that's when I had people who don't watch video all the time are like, it seems like it's off. When you have your congregation telling you that, that's when it's noticeable. Now, for me, even though I video edit all the stuff, even our stuff, I can tell when it's off, because it's like somebody's clapping, and it's like their clap, and then it's like their hands on the projector are like almost 2 frames behind it. The average person wouldn't notice it. I notice it because I'm editing all the time. But yeah, back to your question, that will work great. It'll work fine for you. Ray L, good morning to you as well. Reggie is here. Hey AJ, I'm going to upgrade to HM Extreme and 2 PTZ cameras and vMix HD. What PTZ camera should I get? I have A10 Mini now. Honestly, I would say wait. I mean, I like the AJay imaging. I like the PTZ optics. They are great. I'm testing this out, the SMT AV, just because I've had so many people ask me about them. Again, when it comes to a budget thing, I like to offer a whole bunch of options to where people can see. If I had it to install myself, I normally stick with PTZ optics, or I do an AJay imaging. That's what I do. Now, if I have somebody else who specifically is like, AJay, that's great, but this is the camera we want to install, hey, the customer's always right. I go with them on that, unless it's something that I know is like, hey, your camera is 100 feet from your pulpit, and this $100 PTZ that you want me to use has a 1x zoom, meaning it doesn't zoom at all. I don't think that, oh, that's what you want? Okay. And then once it's installed, don't work. So I would honestly say wait for that, and then you can make your decision off of that, because I've done the PTZ optics, I've done the AJay imaging, and then here. So it gives you a wide range that you can pick from. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are talking about that, that PTZ camera mic. Really appreciate it. Oh, just as a reminder, y'all, we're going to be at NAB this year. I'm looking forward to that because I've never been to it. We're going to be on the floor, and we're going to be checking it out and seeing what type of awesome stuff. I'm going there, honestly, from a perspective of, hey, we are media ministries, and the stuff that y'all offering, a lot of churches are using. So that's why I'm going. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's there so we can be on the floor and be like, hey, yay. Dylan wants to know, what is the difference between 1080i and 1080p? 1080i, the image is drawn once. 1080p, the images is drawn twice. For me, the easiest way that you can notice it, like if you look at last year on my church's channel, Antioch Verona, when my pastor moves around, well, actually not last year, a year, 2 years, pre-COVID, you'll see he moves a lot, and you'll see wiggly lines because he's moving faster than the frame rate, and it's only drawing the image twice. So it's actually drawing it twice progressively. So it makes a more fluid picture. It's not a big deal, really. It's really not. But for me, when I notice the editing, I see the wavy lines, and I'm like, okay, when I went to progressive, that wasn't an issue. You'll notice the same thing if you watch like Little League Sports and somebody's just recording it with their camcorder and they're moving too fast, you can see the lines. Going to 1080p normally solves that. I mean, a progressive scan, because they were 720p as well too. Streets of Destiny. I'm using some cameras that require an app to view the video. Because of the app, I'm not able to bring it up into OBS. I've used OBS Ninja and or Google Meet to screen share the video into OBS. OBS Ninja keeps flashing in OBS. Would that be the resolution causing the problem? OBS keeps flashing in OBS. I mean, that could be a bunch of things. It could be, depending on your system, that maybe the system is just choking and processing the video in those jumps since you're doing a screen record. It could be that. I don't think it's a resolution because, I mean, it's natively doing a screen capture. That's the only thing I can think of without really playing around with something like that. Coach, Good morning. When I introduced my A10 Mini Pro to my single PC setup by USB-C, I noticed that OBS is saying the CPU is running at 40% compared to it was running at 18. Should I change settings? Yeah, go inside your encoder. Let me bring mine up here because it's going to duplicate everything I'm doing anyway. All right, so if I super source this, which is going to go to infinity. Yeah, going on to infinity. If I come over in here, first thing you will want to do is check your output. And what is your encoder? Are you using hardware or are you using software? Because I'm thinking, I don't know, what were you using originally before? Were you using a webcam? Were you using some other type of capture card? Let me know about that, Coach, and we can see where we go from there. What are your thoughts on the Panasonic HC V770 versus the R800? The V770 blows it out of the water, in all honesty, because this is the V770. Great picture. Has, I think it's, don't quote me on it. The sensor is bigger, and it just has better quality. It has better low light performance and everything. This one is significantly better. Yes, it's double the price, but it's better. This is the camera. The Panasonic is what we upgraded from the Canon. The Sony Handycam CX330, which was the equivalent of that R800. The R800 is a little bit better, but the Panasonic V770 is significantly better than that one. Let's see. Due to the lockdown, I am going to set up in my pastor's house, but have remote access to his desktop. Is that feasible? Yes, because that's how I have all my computers or any other clients that I work with, that they're at a distance. I have it set up to where I can remotely get into them, especially like my mom's stuff, because I don't want to be driving 2 hours every time when she might have a little issue. Jack, yeah, on the SM7B, the capsule is so long that you have to be so close to the end of the capsule to get the volume you want. One of the reasons I went for something like the SM58 for live sound. Yeah, I'll be honest, like I even bought another pod mic here. This is for my daughter if she decides to do another one, as well as for any other guests when we get back to it, because we're doing our virtual choir tomorrow. So I'm actually going to take these pod mics, and nobody's in my choir is on here anyway. I might put them on the stronger singers and put them on these mics when we're recording. So I think that's going to come out well. Josh wants to know, were you able to get the memes and the PTZ Twitch extension? I got the memes, the Twitch extension. I did see the email. I just haven't worked on it yet. And I'll have to actually put it at my church because that's where that camera is now. Let's switch back to this camera here. Actually, since we talk about memes, let's go ahead and pull up Josh's memes for the week, shall we? We can get a good laugh here. Let me get prepped for that. I took some old ones, and we'll go for that as well too. So let's go for some memes, folks. All right, where's my? There it is. So let's go for number one here. You got the church website. The moment you realize the only guy who can update your website has left. Ain't that a pain? All right, next one. Somebody did all this work on that. Looks like that's Netscape was designed, or maybe Front Page was used to design this website with the nice purple clouds. It's beautiful. Yeah, if you could build us a new church website by Sunday, that'd be great. All right, we got another one here. My friend, I had the best dream ever. What did you dream about last night? My dreams. First to sign up for media ministry. Bet you can't do that. Okay. All right, last one. When they catch you asleep in the media ministry during service. Man, that's my look from the piano when somebody's not paying attention. I've been known to stand up on the piano and then even get into the mic to get people's attention, which is not very professional, but hey, I have done it. Regina here. Since the pandemic, we live streamed the service for members. However, we don't have musicians, so we use music from CDs. Should we remove our videos after or not use the music at all? You can, first off, you really can't play the music from CDs. If you haven't gotten hit, just wait. It will happen. If you want to do music, there are a bunch of places where you can buy music. We talked about it before. You can use tracks, performance tracks, or you can get the ones that have vocals on it. I think they include a license where you can use them. I would say that. But please, please do not play an MP3 or a CD directly unless you have the artist's permission to use it. You, after a while, the first you'll get them, and it'll just be a copyright claim, which isn't bad. And then when you start getting strikes, that's when you start getting a problem. I think after 3 of them, they'll shut your stuff down. You definitely wouldn't want to do that. Let's see. So back to coach, and I see Patrick was answering as well too. If you were already using a capture card, it's most likely check the settings. Are you using the CPU for your encoder, or are you using hardware? Because the ATEM doesn't add that much because it's doing all of the heavy lifting. I would check what type of quality you're sending. The ATEM, you can set it to some version of 1080p. 60, you drop it down to 30, you'll have less data going through. Play around with that as well too. Advent Flame. What software platform do you use for remote desktop, and can you access the remote computer when it is off? No, you cannot access it when it's off. I use Chrome Remote Desktop, but the hack for that is, especially for me, when I build the computers, what I do is inside the BIOS, there is a setting that says that, if there's a power loss, what do you want the computer to do? I always set mine to restart. So, because I use all these smart switches and where I have everything, I have all our computers on a smart switch. If I can't get into it, I will kill the power to the system, shut it off, turn it back on, and because of the motherboard setting to say when it loses power is to always start back up again automatically, that's how I can get back into the system. Now, there are other ways you could do it. There are a lot more techie ways to do it. I mean, you can do a wake on LAN command, but again, you would have to make sure that the motherboard supports it. It's turned on. You have some other way to send the magic key to make it turn on. There's a bunch of other ways. Some programs actually can turn it on, but it uses that same stuff. Chrome Remote Desktop does not do that, plus it's free. That's what I just use. And it looked like my video stalled for a second. It looked like YouTube stalled on my side for a second. The guy who managed our website has been living a time zone over for 2 years. Josh says on the Facebook group, don't forget the meme challenge of the week is still going on. Links are available in the Facebook group. You will have a chance to be on the live stream. Exactly. What else? Oh, yeah. And if you haven't, Facebook group is right here. It's great, folks. We got some awesome stuff that's coming down the pipe, but we release it there first. Otis, what's going on? I don't even want to try and pronounce your name wrong. Now it's saying, hold on. Now YouTube is talking about YouTube is not getting enough video. What in the world? Come on, man. Oh, YouTube. I don't know why you're saying it's an error. Give me 1 second, folks. It's saying all of a sudden I'm not sending enough data. Oh, well, y'all will let me know if y'all are having any major issues with this. I have the ATEM Television Studio 4K. What is the cheapest video camera with SDI output? I have a Sony PMW. Thanks for your help. The cheapest with SDI out? It's one of the Canons or the Panasonic. No, actually, it's a JVC. I think actually supports that as well, too. Let me see. Let's do a little B&H photo hunting. Super Source. Get off of that. And because obviously you're talking about that, we're looking at pro video. I'm going to go with camcorders right now. Why don't they have... Okay. SDI. And let's sort this by price. I was thinking the Canon XA11, but the 15 does, and that's at $1,700. Yeah, so I think that's a good option. I don't see where the output is. It says it, but I mean, in all honesty, I mean, you can get one of these little converters that are $50 and turn anything into a SDI out. I don't see it on the camera, but it says it does. That's why you should always do a complete 180. I mean, not 180, complete 360, so people like me can see every single jack and connection on your camera. Advent, yes, it actually can. I have a bunch of these. I use TP-Link ones that they're on the Wi-Fi. I can turn anything that's connected to it on and off. I mean, that's how I have my stuff in here set up. I have my ATEM and everything. So instead of my ATEM having it on and off, it goes into my switch, and I can press a button on my app here. I don't know if you can see it. That I can turn everything on and off. So if I hit that one that says AJay the CEO, that's the one when I start doing YouTube videos, and it turns on all my equipment here. Makes it really easy. I have it set up for my church the same way. It's really on a schedule. That's why I used it, but I can kick it off automatically if I want to as well. Okay, everybody's saying that they get that same message in YouTube, but the stream has been fine. Thank you so much. Josh wants to know, when is the next media ministry review video? For your live stream, it's going to be this Sunday, actually. Okay, back to Coach. He says he's using a GT 1030. Now, normally, the GTX gives you the enhancements of using the GPU for encoding, but I was pleasantly surprised by the GT 710. See if you have an option to change it to NVENC encoding in OBS, which will leverage the GPU. That should make it a lot easier if that's an option. Jack wants to know, do I use Stoneman for sourcing any equipment? They have some great... No, actually I have not. That's the first time I've heard of them. Sam is saying, how do you watch in Facebook? Oh, I'm not streaming to Facebook in this right now. I could. I'm not. I'm only on YouTube from here. It looks like I'm caught up here so far. That's early, folks. You know what? We're going to do some tech deals. I'm actually building some systems for some other churches. And let's just, I guess from a tech news standpoint, I wouldn't call this tech deals, but or maybe news alert. Maybe that one would be better. All right, folks. So AMD has announced some new processors. The more recent version of the 3700G and all this other stuff like that, they are not readily available for us to build and use yet, but they are adding some more power there. And of course, I click on the wrong link. They just announced them. Where are they at? Processors, desktop processors. Oh, they must have. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong one. Ryzen with graphics. So if we scoot down a little bit, these are all the new ones that they have. So instead of the 3200G, they have the 5300 GE with less power, 5300G, 56. And up to a Ryzen 7. Now, the powerful thing about this is the 3200G that a lot of y'all have built based off of some of the videos I've done, that was a 4-core, 4-thread that does very, very well. But these are now 4 cores and 8 threads at the minimum, so double. And it goes up to 6 cores, 12 threads, and up to 8 and 16 with a GPU built in. It's still the old graphics card, so it's not the Navi-based one. If you know anything about that, it's still going off of the Vega one. But the fact that it's giving you that much more CPU power, it's a good option to run this. Now, the only issue is when are they going to be available? Because that's the hardest thing. You can't find any of these graphics cards, GPUs, CPUs, GPUs, APUs, anywhere where the CPU and GPU is on the same chip. It's really hard to find them because the 3200G used to go for $99. Now it's going for like $299. And then the 3400G was going for $150. That's going for almost like $300, which is ridiculous. But a lot of silicone is getting in semiconductors are kind of hard to get. So if there's a time, be mindful. Just like when COVID started, everybody was waiting and didn't think they want to buy anything. And then you got the Cam Links and Elgatos and everybody and their mama tried to buy them, and then they just jacked the price up. So just be mindful. Don't wait till the last minute. For example, I've been telling y'all a long time ago that I wanted to change projectors at our church, but one of our projectors died this week. So, and unfortunately, it's an older projector. So when you go to buy the bulbs and they don't make them anymore, they charge more for them. And it's at the point now, changing bulbs is about $300 to $400 shy of buying a brand new projector. So you know what my recommendation, well, honestly, my recommendation was like, you should have listened when I said it the first time, but I have to be nice. Advent Flame, let's go back to a question. What is the name of the TP-Link switch you use? I really need to be able to access the computers. The switch that I use, I will put it, actually I have a video on it. Let me find it here. And I actually have it here personally on my system here, and I installed it at my church. So I use the same thing. So let me find it. Yep, and there it is. It is the Casa Smart Wi-Fi Power Strip. So I got a bunch of those. That's the 6 outlet one, and they have a 3 outlet one. I have used both of them. I have 2 of them on the floor up under my desk right now, and I have 2 at my church, 3 at my church, and that's what I use. So I will put a link to that video here in the chat. And I will put a link to the power strip as well too, if you are interested in that. Put together. Oh, and there's my comments. That's too loud. And link to the actual power strip. I didn't want that. It's too much. There we go. All right, let's see what else. Larry here. We have OBS streaming with hymn lyrics for the stream audience. Then we have a PowerPoint type software showing hymn lyrics on another computer for people to see in the church. Can we use one system? Yes. You can use Presenter by Worship Extreme, or which will require the paid model for that, or Pro Presenter, and then you would just make a faux screen to have different formats to match both. I have a video showing that, but most of the other platforms, I know Pro Presenter and Presenter by Worship Extreme can both do that. Sam was saying for him that NVIDIA encoding no longer good since Windows upgrade. What graphics card are you using? Virgil wants to know, can I recommend an HDMI splitter? Do you need it to be 4K, standard? Is it just a splitter, or do you need it to be an extender? Which one? Okay, and he was saying the reason why is he's having issues with mixing resolutions and losing video on one display. Yeah, that's how most of the splitters are going to be, that if you do a splitter, it's looking at especially if you're coming from a computer, the computer is it's kind of like a race. Who's going to be the first monitor that does the handshake back to the computer, and that's where the resolution is going to be supported. The easiest way is when you do that is to make sure all of the displays can match the exact same resolution and frame rate. That way you won't have that. Unfortunately, outside of, I know of HDMI scalers. I don't know of one that does it individually on the output if you're mixing them. The only ones I have are just like powered splitters. I don't have any experience with ones that can handle mixed resolutions and things like that, unfortunately. RC, Pastor has been using Switcher Studio, but has been having some issues lately, looking to move on. What would be a setup you suggest Studio like with multiple cameras, software, and equipment? That's kind of a big question. Honestly, I wish there would be a supporter, a sponsor for this. But honestly, I am a big fan of the A10 minis and stuff like that. It's once you set it up, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Gives you the same functionality, except for you do need to have the cameras connected unless you use wireless HDMI or something like that. If you want to stay something like that, you can go with vMix and make sure everything is NDI, and then you wouldn't need any hardware except for maybe at the camera level or something like that. If you want something more detailed to that, please email me, and that's what I didn't put up. If I don't get a chance to get to your questions, please send me an email at questions@ajhomes.com, and I will give me 48 to 72 hours to get back to you, and I will do my best to answer y'all as best as I can. We're a one-man team right now, but we're looking at expanding, and maybe we can get some better, faster questions for y'all. Chris, I'm trying to price out a system for my church so that I can actually have a break. Can't find anything less than $2,300. I understand. One more question by Hopton. For streaming, what do you recommend, desktop or laptop? Personally, desktop, because it gives you more growth, but for portability, laptop. This one right there is an Acer Nitro 5. That's what I upgraded to for live streaming sporting events for Formation Sports that we do. It has a Ryzen 5 processor with graphics, and it has a GTX 1650, so it has dual graphics cards, so it makes streaming a breeze. I actually need to put some more memory in there because it only has 8 gigs. I want to put it to 16, maybe even 32, and then put another drive in there. But I personally like PCs because the case really hasn't changed. You can just put a new motherboard in, put a new processor in, put new memory, and you don't have to gut the entire system. When that laptop is gone, and it's outdated, I have to buy the entire thing all over again. That's why I like desktops, personally. Sam is saying, he was saying he lost encoding. Windows dumps everything on it and you can't stop it. You actually got to turn that off. I had an issue with that. So inside of, and Josh actually talked about this on our Facebook group as well. There is a setting, I don't remember it off the top of my head, where it tells how much you want to send to your GPU. I don't remember where it is, but I know that's a known issue, that once you adjust that, you'll be able to get that stuff back. Lanny, if I remember the video correctly, you can set the Stream Deck to make your system live stream without having to know much about the system, correct? Making it simple just for a click. Yes, that's exactly how I have mine in my church set up. So if I remote into my church, and we're going to go to our live streaming system here. Why am I not typing right? So in here, I have a Stream Deck set up, and I don't have anybody doing anything super technical with my stuff. I'm waiting for everything to finish loading. Come on, Stream Deck. There it goes. So for everybody in our ministry, everything is controlled through our Stream Deck. So this is the default screen that they see. OBS, email, reboot. They can't restart the computer. It has to go through this because I do processes to stop people from doing that. We can go to our Facebook page, everything. But once OBS is open, it will, well, this is the software. It switches automatically to this. So this is all they do. So we come over here to pre-service, then it cuts over to ATEM when we're live, offering, be right back, ending. That's all they really have to mess with, and maybe online giving, which puts the lower third at the bottom. But there's our go live. They just hit that, and that's it. No one really has to mess with anything else inside of OBS at all. All of it is done specifically from and directly from the Stream Deck. No one really has to mess with any of this other stuff at all. So, and it was really simple to set up. I mean, it's the Stream Deck talks directly to OBS, so you just drag the button and say, like, let me open it back up again. So in here, and I have to have OBS open for this to work because it's pulling from it here. So if I come over here, technically, you would just go to OBS Studio, hear all your commands, and it's like, oh, I want to record. You drag it here, and now you have a record button because it's going to send the command directly to OBS to do that. And then if you have live stream, as long as you have your stuff set up in here, and we're going to Vimeo so it doesn't change, so we don't have to change our key. We just go there, and it's always going to go. And Vimeo is rebroadcasting to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook for us. So from a media ministry standpoint, they don't really have to touch anything. We set this up once. Well, I set this up once, and then there's nothing else that really needs to be done after that. So really, really simple, especially if you want to get more people involved with the media ministry, but they think it's a daunting task. You can set this up, and for us, it's literally 6 buttons. 1 for preview, pre-live, 2 is the go live. 3 button is for the service. 4 is if we go to offering, which we're really not using to the end of service anyway, since everybody's giving without passing a plate and stuff like that. Then 4 is be right back if our praise dancers were doing something or we're playing content we don't own, but we don't do that either right now. And then 5, ending. That's really it. Really, really simple for our folks. Yes. Oh, I was trying to look back and see. Wait a minute. What comment did you want me to link? Yes, I will put the laptop that I used on here. It was the Acer Nitro 5. And I actually got it for like $500. So it is an AMD one. And they push so hard the Intel's ones, but the AMD one just blows it out of the water in performance. It won't even list it here, but I'm gonna put it here in the chat. Let me just find it real quick. Yeah, there it goes. And it's going for $789. So post a link in there. My streaming laptop. There it goes. Yeah, Mike, I am going to look at going 32. The only issue with this, I need a that rubber prying rod I don't have with my iFixit kit. I need to do that to pry it open because it's like little tabs that hold the bottom piece in place. I just don't want to try too hard to break the bottom, so I want to get something like that, but that's what I plan on. Are the computers at my church always on? Yes, they are. Because I don't have a key to the church, even though it's 5 minutes down the road for me. I like to remote in, and now that I have everything on that TP link switch, like I'll do it right now. I have everything on our switches. So if I cut over here, I'm gonna remote back into my computer at church. And what I'm going to do, I need to cancel this. Run shutdown /A. Run the other one just in case to abort it. All right, so my stuff is canceled. So I can come over here and I'm going to turn on my video system, and let me actually bring up OBS so you can actually see it work in real time. So I'm going to be our streaming. I'm also going to open up our ATEM software, which is not connected to anything because everything is off. So I can come up here right now, turn our system on, which I just did. Give this a second. You just heard it sound because it just connected. ATEM. There's our ATEM that just popped up, and there's our PTZ camera, and it's still initializing. So it should readjust. Boom. So again, all of this was done remotely. So I can come in here in the same way, turn that off. Everything got killed. And boom, now everything is off. So can I do the stream from here? Yeah, I could. There is a little bit of delay, but I could from here. And that's how I have everything set up. So it makes it really easy that if somebody was there and they're like, oh, we got this and all. But I also have, there's a TP-Link switch that I have a video where I made it external that you can plug into an outlet. So that switch, you just press at our booth and it will turn everything on as well too. All right, let's switch back here. Joe, is there anything special about your OBS settings that you just showed us? Have you ever had any sync problems? No. The only time I've had sync problems back in the day when I was doing church post-production, where I was doing all of this on the same system, my OBS issues would happen because I was trying to render in DaVinci Resolve at the same time while encoding, and it just crashed. That's why I do it on separate systems. Outside of that, my OBS settings are plain Jane. If I open these up now, so if I go to my settings here, I go to my output, I'm using simple, I'm at 2500, and I'm using hardware. That's it. I ain't doing nothing else. If I go to my video output, we're at 1080p, 60. That's it. Nothing else to it. But like I said, I mean, this is my video editing system. So this is a beast of a system. So if I show my task manager here, this is, I have the Ryzen 9 3900. So I got 24 cores. So even if I was doing everything, it wouldn't max the system out. But video editing and streaming at the same time is still a beast. So that does take a minute to do. Alrighty. Back to Sam. Is there a way where for our front of house you have a whole verse, 8 lines, yet for stream they are all 2-liners with a code at the 4th set to move? I'm not sure on that. All of the places that I've ever used, it's been line for line, the exact same thing. It's formatted differently, but if you have 4 lines on one, it's 4 lines on the other. I'm not aware of a way to do that separately. Kenneth, is there a way to restream for free? Yes, restream is always free as long as you don't use it with an account that requires payment. So like if I cut back over here and go to my restream, I've never entered a password. I mean, I got 2 of them. Let me go to login instead. So I've had this for quite a while, and actually this is off because they gave me a license to do a review video, so that's why mine is. Maybe I should go to my other one. Let's go to my video game one that I haven't used in eons. So Restream is free as long as you don't use one that requires a paid platform. So if I go to add a channel, all of these are free. Once you go to a Facebook Live group or a public page, a custom RTMP, Wooza, or Akamai or whatever, that's when you have to pay. You can add as many of these as you want for free. So, I mean, honestly, the cheat that you can do, instead of doing this, you can go to Facebook, your personal page, and then share it here. That's the easiest way to do it because you can't do watch parties. As of today, watch parties are now done on Facebook. They've removed those, so hopefully that helps. Chapman, have you ever heard of the German electronics company Blancom? From what I understand, they've made hardware streaming products. No, I have not. I have not heard of them. Kenneth wanted to know what was the software for the Mac Ecamm Live, ECAMM, Ecamm Live. Sean, can that laptop also double for video editing and audio processing? I do not. Yes, actually it can. That's the laptop I'm going to take with me to NAB to do all my editing on. So that's why I'm going to bump up the memory and the storage for that. Because again, the specs in this is what my streaming PC used to be. So I know it can handle it. So yes, I would say so. Actually, yes, I can. It's been times when there's been issues and I was at home, I've been able to log in. It's a little bit of a delay. I turn on the audio there through OBS so I can hear what's going on. So if I had to, I mean, I can go to all of the computers and manage them if I need to. Like I can go and run ProPresenter and do everything. And now that I have these PTZs, I can actually put the control in OBS, and I can actually remote control the cameras if I wanted to. I wouldn't manually move it. I would use one of the presets, but yes, technically I could, but I wouldn't. I would only do it if I really, 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 really needed to. Emmanuel just joined in. Does Restream allow you to stream to multiple platforms, and does it affect quality? Yes, Restream does allow you to go to multiple platforms. These bottom ones here are the only ones that if you add them, Facebook groups or a public page, custom RTMP, Wuza, and Akamai, or whatever, how you pronounce it. Once you add these four, that's when you have to pay. All these other ones, you can add as many as you want. So like right now, I have 4 of these, and this is when I was playing Final Fantasy 10 on the PlayStation 4. So that was like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And I don't have any account, credit card, or nothing inside of this. So I've had it for years, and I've never paid a dime for it. So T-Pocket is back. Welcome back. Let's see. All right, folks. So what else we got? I know I'm forgetting something else. I haven't gotten any new pictures at all. So, but if you're interested, I'd love to get y'all to share your e-missionary swag. You can post a picture of you and your team, or anybody who's rocking any of the e-missionary stuff, and shout out your ministry. We got some awesome stuff coming down the pipe. I can't find the picture here before I prep, so that's why I don't have it. But we are skipping 40,000, but we are doing a 50,000 subscriber giveaway, and that is helped sponsored by PTZ Optics. Excited about that. You can go here, and they're giving away a PTZ camera. The rules of this group is you need to make sure you're a subscriber to my channel, have notifications turned on. That way you get notified when we actually do the live stream of giving it away, and go to this form and fill it out. And as a thank you, please also subscribe to PTZ Optics, because they didn't have to do this. Go ahead and do that. Enter this, and we will randomly pick somebody. Once we hit 50,001 subscriber, I would do a live stream. That's why you need to have notifications on so you don't miss it. We will live stream it, and whoever wins, you have 16 hours to respond. If you don't, we will pick somebody else. You only have to enter once. If you are a YouTube member or a Patreon supporter, you will automatically enter twice. So you have two times the chances of being picked. Again, you only have to enter once, but you can have as many people in your ministry like, subscribe, and share to this channel and enter, and your ministry has more chances to win. So that's how we're doing it. Hey, I appreciate all the stuff. We're doing some other questions here. T-Pocket wants to know, what software do you use to make your designs? I use After Effects and Photoshop. Normally, they're templates off of Elements by Envato. That's where I get most of my graphics from. And then if I feel inspired, I'll do something. And then if I'm being lazy and I don't want to, I don't have the time, I will hire somebody on Fiverr to do it for me. I also do work on Fiverr myself too. Josh, non-media related question. What games do you play, Sir Triggerlot? I normally would play RPGs. I'm not a first-person shooter person anymore, because since I have my daughter, I don't want her to be around stuff like that. So that's why I just don't play it. And when it comes to multiplayer, I can't pause if she was coming around. So I do a lot of fantasy, Final Fantasy, Mass Effect, Tomb Raider, Uncharted, Burnout, Hot Pursuit, Need for Speed, a lot of platformer stuff now. I love The Walking Dead, but again, ever since my daughter's around, I don't play that. And honestly, I just don't have time to play video games. It doesn't hold my attention as much. Normally, it's more exciting for me to do stuff like this. That's not me just saying it. I really enjoy doing the video stuff more than sitting down syncing 4 and 8 hours and playing a game like I used to. It's like, because this is a dream that I've always wanted to do, and this is more exciting than living out a faux fantasy and playing video games. That's just me, honestly. Yes, it does. It does. Once you become a member or a Patreon, I mean, I don't even add y'all in until we hit 50,001. I pull down everybody who's been registered. I mean, some people have been on here long enough where you see me do it in sequel and I do it right in front. Then some people didn't like the fact I was showing people's email addresses, so I had to take that stuff out. So actually, let me show you some of my old stuff here. Back to my ETL days. So normally we will come in here. Here's my database with all the stuff. I have a database here, personal, my tables. These are giveaways. So I need to make a new entry for this one. So right now, these were the giveaways for the ATEM. So I need to make a new entry for here. So $50K subscriber, start date, dates, and then end date. I don't know. We'll do what? Well, we're going to hit that this year, so I don't want to. Let's say 5. I don't know. Can you do 5? Yeah, let's do 5:30. Something like that. All right, so there's our new giveaway. For here, I will pull that in, and then once I start bringing in people, you know, we'll start doing stuff like this, and that's how I'll add everybody. And then I'll add members, Patreon members, YouTube members. You add, honestly, it's a cheap way of doing it, but you can wait till the very last day, right before we hit 50,000. And if I haven't pulled everybody, you can subscribe and do one of those, and then you'll be added twice. Yes, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other new videos. Okay, Josh is saying he feels the same way. Might Magic plays that. Yeah, I get all these games on Epic Store to give out for free. Then I have PlayStation Plus. I mean, I was playing Army of the Dead the other day because it was free. Just wanted to see what it was. Played that for about an hour. That's the longest I played video games recently. But hey. Back to Emmanuel. We are currently using HDMI to IP modules from Mano price for longer distance camera setups. Is there anything else you would recommend? Anything else I've seen was pretty pricey? Well, I just did the Ori HD Base T, and I really like that. I'm going to be doing another video for their channel as well, so you might see my face on Ori's channel pretty soon, doing videos for there. I like that. I guess, I mean, what's the price range that you're talking about? Because this one, the non 4K is around like $109, and it can go up to 400 and 500 feet. Some of their other ones that I normally install go to 160, but they're like $40 for them. So very, very reasonable price. Thank you so much. Honestly, I have not looked into what's new with OBS 27. I've been way too busy. Haven't really looked into it. Jack Wolf, back in the day, I would use Visual Studio. I would write in C++, Visual Basic, and a bunch of stuff like that. But that was back in my employment days. I do not use it as much. I really don't have as many options. But I was thinking about getting back into it if I can't find a way to write this. I don't know if y'all saw the review that I did on this. My intention is to try and get some type of interface so where it changes the color in OBS to light this up at that given color. And I want to put this strip in my media booth right across the table so that if people are on the far end and they are not paying attention to the stream, they'll see this hint of green change colors, and that gives them a visual representation. Oh, something is going on with the stream. I should get up. I'm surprised somebody hasn't made that already, but I might get back into that. Dylan, I've actually used a couple of Ori ones and some other ones that are wireless adapters. I actually used one at my chapel to connect the computer to the 4K TV in the sanctuary, and it worked fine. I didn't see a lot of latency. That was going for like $105. It's pretty decent. But yeah, that's about it. I think we're done, folks. Unless anybody has any other questions. Thank y'all so much. Again, make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you have the bell notification on. That way you don't miss anything. Now, there is a different level of notification. You can say notification for some or all. And I think when they rolled that out, it didn't defaultly go to something. So if you're saying, if you have notifications on and you're not getting everything, be mindful. Check that notification again if they haven't done a new feature, and it might put you on a lower level of notifications. But be mindful of that. Daniel, no problem, man. I hope you're enjoying that A10 Mini Pro. Have you had a chance to use it yet? Let me know. One last thing, Manuel should have been more specific. Curious about solutions that would get me away from wired connection. I believe Dylan asked it. Yeah, I mean, they were no tech deals, Josh. We actually would. I didn't really notice anything right now, but it all depends, Emmanuel. You could use NDI, that would get you away from it. But again, you need to make sure the NDI is performing at the speed that you want. Like NDI, I don't knock NDI. Just know that you have other stipulations that have to be in place. We have some people that are using NDI and they're saying it's bad performance. It's because they're using just a single router that's back in a closet somewhere, and it's struggling to get a signal to send back and forth. You need to, if you're using NDI, you need to have I don't want to say robust, but you need to have a decent network to run that. Well, Daniel, you're saying, why doesn't OBS recognize the ATEM anymore? If you have OBS turned on and you turn the ATEM off, it won't detect it that way. So it's just not showing up at all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. The only reason why it wouldn't be recognized is if something else is picking it up as if it's being used. That's the only thing else I can think of. Oops. Have you heard of any ATEM caching problems? Yes, you get a caching issue if the ATEM cannot establish a connection to where you're streaming to, or if it's lost a signal in any way, shape, or form. That's the other thing I didn't do a video about. Let me open it up and show y'all something. The new update to the ATEM software, 8.61. So if we come over here, because this is what I'm using right now to control this, if we go to the setup, and we have here, we go to the new settings, we now can set a priority on our connection. Do you want to have priority to your Ethernet or to mobile? What I would recommend, well, it's kind of hard to do that if you're using the USB to connect to your computer for the A10 Mini Pro. Trying to think. There's no... Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, the only time I've ever seen that is either the platform that I was trying to stream to has had an issue, or your local network was a problem. And like some of the proxies or DNS servers that we were using would have an issue going to it. That's the only thing I'll think about it. I think I'm going to do, this is going to be my last one here. Josh wants to know, is there any way to do dramatic shots with PTZ cameras? I mean, like, yeah, you can have somebody holding it from a band. Nah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I mean, what would you deem considered dramatic shots? I mean, it's a camera, so you can use it in any way, shape, or form, unless you're trying to do fog and all this other stuff. You can place it in a type of way. The same way. That's the only thing I can think of. But I think that's it for me, folks. We are getting ready for our virtual choir tomorrow, where I'm going to be recording everyone. We're going to be packing up the pod mics, the Rodecaster, and I'm going to take that. And I figured out my issue with my Pocket Cinema camera. I had it set to time lapse. That's why everything was missing. So I'm going to take that, my Sony ZV-1 and my other Sony, so I can have it all in 4K. I'm going to record the praise dancers and record choir members and put all that stuff together, and we'll see how it all comes together. I'm not going to be at church this Sunday. I'm playing somewhere else. Then I'm going to be playing at Pastor Alicia's church for their anniversary Sunday afternoon, so it's going to be a busy day. And then next week we also have an on-site for church Saturday afternoon. I have another on-site on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and there's something else that's going on Wednesday. Something else, I don't know. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on, folks. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join our Facebook group where discussions like this don't end. You can get your questions answered by other media ministries all over the world. And also, I want to thank, and did I not update this? I want to thank our patrons. I just realized it killed my audio while I was talking. I don't know why I did that, so sorry about that. I was going to say thank the Patreon members here. Why is my stuff acting up here? Thank you to Patreon supporters. You know, I'm going to take this down. I don't know what's happening with my my stuff over here. So anyway, I don't know what happened with vMix. I want to thank, if you're a Patreon supporter, if you're a YouTube member supporter, thank you so much. I couldn't do this without y'all. They have contributed up to, starting at a minimum of $1 a month to help us train media ministries all over the world. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Some of y'all have been Patreon supporters for an entire year, and thank you so much. Humbled, appreciate all that y'all are doing. And also, if no one has ever told you, thank you so much for all the work that you are doing at your local ministry. I am not in competition with you. You're not in competition with me. If I can help you reach more, guess what? We all collectively win. That's what it's all about. Instead of us fighting amongst each other, how about we help one another and we move forward with the mission that all of us have. And that's what the goal of this channel is, to help as best as we can. I don't know everything. I don't get it all right. I have autocorrect that mess my posts up sometimes that I don't fix, but I do my best to share with y'all what I do know, and hopefully that would help y'all's journey be a little bit easier, and don't have to do as much research, so I can at least share and give you a kind of a leg up on the path that you're going on. So appreciate you for all that you're doing. Y'all have a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at. You're appreciated. Love you. And we will see you on the next video. Later.